And welcome to In-Game Chat for Saturday, July 26th, 2014. This is Season 8, Episode 30. I'm Scott.
I'm Dennis.
I'm RJ.
And I'm Nathan.
And welcome to the show, everybody. Nathan is back with us this week. No more... You're with us for a good while now, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, good job. That's what we pay you for.
The big bucks.
Right, I don't pay you anything. If you'd like to you could walk out on us right now. We have nothing to... No, that's it. In fact, I'm the only one who can't leave this place right now. You guys could totally go. I cannot actually leave. That's kind of scary when you think about it. Hey, if you'd like to get in touch with us, our phone number is 334-272-9228. You can check out ingamechat.net for all the links to get in touch with us. So you can find us on Twitter at ingamechat, as well as over on Facebook. You can email us, everyone, at ingamechat.net. You guys have been emailing us, and we should read some of those. We're streaming the cam feed right now through Twitch. Head over to twitch.tv. You can find us there and join us in the chat room live while we broadcast. Just search for In-Game Chat when you get to Twitch. There's a lot of stuff on Twitch. So just search for In-Game Chat. You can find us and join us in the chat room. We've got a lot of people hanging out in the chat room right now as it is. And we thank everybody who is in there right now. So we appreciate you guys being here. Duke Frucom's in there and said that he just finished Arkham Origins over the weekend. And that's great. I enjoyed Arkham Origins, and I'm glad that he got through with it. Nice little in-between until you get to Arkham Knight sometime next year. And he said he was going to try and go platinum on the trophies, but tough to do because a lot of them are multiplayer trophies, and the multiplayer on that is either right now is probably dead. Nobody playing it.
So, what kind of multiplayer does Origins have? Is it a versus mode of some kind?
Yeah,
oh.
It's 2 versus 3 versus 3. I know that's strange.
I mean, what's the play style? I mean, is it playing playing Batman in Origins, or are you playing like...
Yeah. It is 2 people, Batman and Robin.
Okay.
They have all the abilities that Batman does, and there's the oh god, what are they called? The perch points, you know.
Okay, like the places where you can hide up in the rafters and such.
Yeah. So you've got that advantage as Batman, and then everybody else is ground first person control.
Okay.
With a Joker's gang, and I believe I can't remember who the other gang is. Penguin's gang, I think. Maybe Bane. Actually, it may be three groups. I'm not exactly sure. But you're all hunting each other as well as Batman and Robin while they're hunting all of you. So it's one of those styles. Think in some terms of the way Splinter Cell did its.
With the spies and mercenaries
type situation. Okay. Think of it a lot like that, and you've kind of...
Did you get to try any of that when you played
I
Origins?
never jumped into it. I never did. It needed a lot of fixes when I was playing it on PC, and I never jumped in there. I really wanted to finish the story first, and then go to multiplayer afterwards. But by the time I finished the story, and by the time they had patched everything so that I could finish the story, the multiplayer was just kind of it was dead. So, and from what I understand, it's still broken. Whenever they, the Warner Brothers Montreal released a statement that said something to the effect of, "Look, we've fixed this game as far as we're going to fix it. We're no longer doing any other fixes." And they did everything they could for the single player campaign, and there's still a lot of broken stuff in the multiplayer campaign. But you know what? I didn't buy that to play multiplayer. So.
Yeah, it's not like I think Batman Arkham. I'm like, man, I wish I had multiplayer in that.
Mm-hmm. I know. Never thought of it either, but they put it in. So, Anyway, welcome to the show. Nathan is currently on the phone right now. Hey, whoever called, thanks for calling. 334-272-9228. Coming up at 8 o'clock, we're going to be joined by Gerard Williams. HipHopGamer is what he is known as. I met him at E3, not formally did we meet, and we didn't really introduce ourselves to each other when we were at E3. I have seen him at previous E3s. I'm probably sure I've seen him at a few PAXs here and there, but I had the pleasure of sitting next to him randomly at the Sony press conference, and that was my first experience of in-person HipHopGamer. And
he's very enthusiastic, if I remember correctly.
Extremely enthusiastic. Everything was the best he'd ever seen. And that's not a bad thing, man. I wish I could see things through his eyes, and I kind of want to talk to him about that. And, but he's going to call in at 8 o'clock and talk with us for a little bit about that. And then next week we're trying to get Blake J. Harris on the show, who wrote Console Wars, which is doing great. I am in the middle of that. I am at the... See, we talk about this a lot. We talk about things we talk about on the show. Let's take Ken Levine leaving 2K, or the decisions that they made for BioShock Infinite whenever they completely changed the tone of the game from what it was in trailers from like 2010, 2011 to the game it became when it was released in 2013. And we talk about, I doubt we'll ever hear the story behind why that happened. And I'm sure at some point there were people back in 91 and 92 saying, boy, I bet we'll never find out why this happened over this and why...
Well, I mean, it's because everybody connected to 2K is looking for a job.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be out there like, well, he said everything about what happened with 2K, so why would we bring him on? Because he'll just say whatever he doesn't like at our company then.
Yeah, I get that. And it's one of those things where I'm sure they said, boy, I bet we'll never find out why that happened. Well, fast forward, 20 some odd years now, and we now find a book that is telling us why things happened the way that they did, and finding out why Nintendo snubbed Sony for the CD drive and went with Philips for whatever they were doing. Why the different... Right now, I am up to the point where Sonic 2 is about to be released. Mm-hmm. And it was interesting when I got to that part, and of course we'll talk to him about this next week, but it was interesting when I got to that part because we, not long ago, had been saying, why do games release on a Tuesday?
Right.
And in the book, they were saying that games just kind of released when they released back then. Mm-hmm. There were no set dates. And what Sega was trying to do for Sonic 2 was do a worldwide global release. And they picked Tuesday because they wanted it Sonic Tuesday. Put the 2 in front of it. Apparently, maybe this is where the number in place of letters also came from. But Sonic Tuesday, and they were releasing on a Tuesday. And I thought, I wonder if that's one of the first releases where it was like, we're going to release everything on a Tuesday. So, but I am up to the point where they are just about to release that. Sony is about to introduce the PlayStation. What is the other thing that happened? Nintendo has bought the Seattle Mariners. That's all gone through. What else happened? The MTV Music Awards happened where Sega released their very first massive ad campaign with the guy screaming Sega.
Yeah.
Welcome to the next level, that sort of stuff. Yeah, it goes all behind on the development of that ad campaign. Mm-hmm. And also, it's just so much stuff in there as far as why things were done and how things were done and all this stuff. In fact, Kalinske right now in the book has just gone over, I think, to Rhode Island or somewhere up north, and is being shown Mortal Kombat for the first time. Mm-hmm. And about how, and being told that, like, this is going to be big, and we've got to license this, and we've got to get it. And Kalinske was like, well, we want it on our system. He's like, well, we're going to license it to both of you. We're going to put it on your Nintendo system, and we're going to put it on the Sega system. And Kalinske's all like, this is great. Finally, we'll get something where it's like, look, here it is for everybody. Now we can see who's got the better system or who's got the larger customer base, that sort of thing, to see who buys the game. So that's where I'm at right now in the book. I've got just about 200 pages left to go before I finish it up. So it's about 550 pages. Very in-depth stuff. So before we get started, let's go around and find out what everybody's been doing. Nathan hasn't been with us for a while, so hopefully he's got a lot to say, but he might not. Dennis, we'll start with you. What have you been doing since last week?
Aside from not playing Telltale games like I should.
Oh, still no Wolf Among Us, huh?
No, I haven't started. And new episode of Walking Dead.
Still no new episode of Walking Dead?
No,
okay.
I haven't been playing that. Just whenever I have time, Binding of Isaac and another one in that same.
How come you're not playing that? Is there any reason, or is it just time?
Just time. It's just having enough time to set aside. Be like, okay, I know what a typical chapter of Telltale game takes. I don't have that much time. Have you? How far have you even started on season 2 of Walking Dead? I have started on season 2 of Walking Dead. I am up to where the newest episode's released.
So you just need to play this new episode then, right?
Yeah, in order to be caught up on that. But
man, it only takes.
I know
it takes maybe 90 minutes.
I know, and that's the thing. Is having 90 minutes in a row to get another chapter out of the way. I'm sure Wolf Among Us is similar in that regard.
Yeah,
but just Binding of Isaac, Rogue Legacy, and another one in that same vein called Our Darker Purpose, which is a really good game.
Anything else you've been playing? That's just it?
Not
That's
really.
it for you?
Just generic stuff, nothing new. I suppose I should get it on the Destiny beta while it's still up.
Because it's out there for everybody right now.
Yeah, because I downloaded it to my PS3 last night and just didn't have a chance today to do it.
Yeah, Nate sent me a message on G-Talk and was like, hey, man, you called it. They're releasing it for everybody. And then I remembered last week, I said they might as well just open it up to everyone. I figured that's what they're going to do before it's all said and done, that they would open it up to everybody.
Yep.
And sure enough, they did. Because, codes were being given out left and right.
Yeah, everybody had a code who wanted a code. And just like,
it was, I think, Wednesday night or Thursday night, one of them. PlayStation's Twitter. I mean, literally just like, oh, here's a batch of codes. And it was like a page of 50 codes. And then like 10 minutes later, oh, here's another batch of codes.
Yeah.
And I was like, just open it.
Exactly.
you're giving away so many codes.
Yeah.
Everyone who got a code got 3 codes.
To give out, yeah.
It's like, just open it.
So yeah, you should do that. We're gonna, in fact, those of you guys watching on Twitch right now, stick around after the show. About 30 minutes after the show, we're gonna hook up the. Nate brought his PS4. I've got my PS4. We're gonna hook them up in here, and we're gonna stream some Destiny playthrough while me and Nate team up and go through some of the missions and go through some of the different worlds and stuff.
Hopefully, it's not like Sniper Elite.
No, I hope it's not. Nate and I teamed up for that, too, and that went horribly. Well, you know what? We got through it. We did get through it. And I'm not sure that... I think we died one... We had to restart one time.
Yeah.
But after that, we got through the entire thing. It was the messiest... yeah.
Basically.
It was Laurel and Hardy go to war. And
it went from Sniper Elite to Demolitions Elite again?
That's a joke for the really old people. It was horrible. It was just messy and nasty and nothing like what you would think.
It was definitely us, not the game.
Oh man, it was all us. It was all us. Did you get through chapter? Well, I tell you what, we'll get to you in just a second.
Yeah.
Going over to RJ. Done anything since last?
Yeah, I managed to finish off Wolf Among Us. I remember doing that.
Oh, you did finish that off.
I did finish it off, actually. The place I stopped last week, that was the last decision I had to make, actually.
We need to kick these two out and talk about it for a bit, huh? Have you played it any, Nate? Are you playing any of that? You don't care?
I'm going to wait. Now that it's out, I'll wait till
okay, gotcha.
I'll get it cheaper.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I took part in the superhero sale that was on PSN.
What'd you pick up?
Last week. I picked up, got back into Injustice, because they offered the Ultimate Edition.
For like
$8.59
Nice.
around that time, so I got back into playing that. Haven't played it in about a year, so I was knocking a lot of rust off. When
that price was so tempting to me. I already own it on Steam.
Yeah.
The same version, I own it on Steam, and then like seeing it for $8 on, or whatever it was, $9 on PSN.
I was about $9, but
I was like, I could pick it up on the PS4.
Well, I mean, I looked at it, but it was last time I checked, it was around $30 to $40. Last time I checked.
Yeah,
I mean, Ultimate
that's what I was going to ask. What's the normal price? The $40?
It was around $30 to $40 last time I checked. So when I saw it for $9, I just took it right there.
I know. I'm still considering it. I don't know why. I haven't played the one on Steam. Why do I want to buy the one on the PS4? Yeah. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe so that you and I can play. Well, you're on PS3.
PS3.
Yeah.
PS3.
Never mind. So you got into some of that?
Yeah, I got into some of that. I also picked up Batman Arkham Origins. Picked that up as well. And,
nice.
And I picked up the...
what was you know what the sale price on that was?
About the same. About the same as Injustice, actually. It was about $9 a piece, each one I picked up. Because I picked up that Batman Arkham Origins and TMNT Out of the Shadows. Just curious on the market. Picked it up. Why not? Took it and went with it that way. Also picked up the DLC for Dark Souls 2, the first of 3.
Have you started on that?
I haven't started yet. First, I got to figure out how to get there. I was searching around on how to do it. I've found a way to do it, but I haven't tried to go there yet. So I haven't started that part yet.
Have you read up on anything that's in it and gotten any ideas, or are you going in completely blind?
I've saw a little bit of a Twitch stream someone did, and I saw some gameplay of it. It was like a sunken area, like a lot of mazes and whatnot. I saw a lot of enemies from looked like a lot of enemies from Dark Souls 1, the hopping creatures from Lost Izalith, if anybody's familiar with that in the original Dark Souls. This lava-based area, and these huge monsters was just hopping up and down like big mutated frogs or whatever, jumping around the place and stomping on you whenever they could get a chance to. So I saw a lot of those running around. And what's worse about it was they were surrounding a bonfire. So you use this bonfire, as soon as you rest the bonfire, the enemies come right back, and so you have about 6 or 7 Miracle Grow frogs jumping around ready to stomp on you again. So that's what I was looking into this past week. Those 4 titles.
Nate, over to you. What it's been 2 weeks now. What have you been playing? What have you been doing?
Well, it worked really good because Destiny beta was out.
Right.
We were playing that, and that was the weekend I was gone. And then Sunday, when they closed the servers, Tuesday, Hearthstone had its first expansion pack.
Ah, yeah.
And that's releasing like new cards and new bosses and stuff. So then I got a day or two to play that, and then Destiny opened up early again. Mm-hmm. So then I went back to that, and then Heroes of the Storm, which is Blizzard's Dota, had a new update to it, and they redid the interface, added new characters and stuff. So then I was playing that, and then I've also been kind of stuck on Risk of Rain. Did you guys ever play that?
Risk of Rain.
I've heard of
it. It was on Steam. It was an indie game, and it's basically a survival game where you just play until you die.
Is it a multiplayer?
It does, yeah. Okay. Its main thing is like local co-op, but you can do online co-op. It's just kind of hard to set up, but it's really fun. But yeah, and then just mainly the Destiny beta, and then it kind of works out because once Destiny ends, then I can go to Last of Us. So it's just
that's right. You haven't played Last of Us at all.
No, so you're in for a treat.
Wow. Yeah, that's in my GameFly queue, and of course, GameStop is offering a deal now where if you take in your PS3 version of Last of Us, then you can get the PS4 version at half price. So $20 bucks, $25, something like that. So I know I'm trying to see if I have. I rented my copy of Last of Us to play it. And then Naughty Dog sent me an autographed copy. So I have a disc.
Oh, gosh.
So I have a disc that is not signed. The disc is not signed.
But you want to keep your signed PS3 case?
Oh, God, of course. No.
I couldn't do that.
What?
I'd have to keep it all together.
I know. That's my problem.
That's the thing. I couldn't. Man, can't give away a disc. It was given to you. It was given to you by the team that made it.
I know.
I may look at you different if you did that.
Well, I wouldn't get. Look, I'd keep the case. It's just the disc is where I go back and forth on to get it at half price. But I got it rented. So if anything, it's coming. Yeah. It's coming to the house through the rental thing, and I will. I'll get some time in. I'm going back to this. They showed off the photo mode.
Yes.
For it, which I thought was. Yeah, I really feel like I'm going to end up playing through this thing again. I don't want to. Once was enough for what it puts you through.
Same here.
And it's a beautiful, beautiful game, and I love it to death. But
well, you could, just so you don't end up playing it, you should just put it on that new difficulty, and then after it,
I'll never play it on that difficulty.
Well, after kicking your butt for like an hour, you feel like, all right, I enjoyed this.
I will never play all the way through it on that difficulty. But I do want to see what it looks like, and I do want to take advantage of that photo mode. Something I didn't take advantage of with Infamous, whenever they released it for that. But I definitely want to get into the multiplayer of this since I never did the first. Well,
I think photo mode definitely needs to come out when the game releases, because if it comes out like say a week or two later and people have already beaten it, you're a lot less likely to play through it.
Exactly. That was what happened with Infamous, is that I had already gotten through it, and then they released photo mode, and I really never went back into it.
So I definitely think that's...
By the way, we're about a month away, little over a month away until Destiny hits. That guy still buying my PS4?
I'll talk to him again, but last time...
Let's just make sure.
Yeah.
Because, see, he's getting a copy of Need for Speed. Rivals, I think, or whatever that is. Need for Speed. He's getting a copy of Infamous 2. And apparently he'll be getting a copy of Destiny, since I'm buying. Oh. See, I'm buying the Ghost Edition.
Okay.
which again is showing up as not being able to be found in stores and stuff. It's really it's turning into, thankfully, a very limited edition.
Actually, some people have been getting emails from Walmart canceling their...
Saying they were canceled, because they couldn't fulfill the stock.
Yep.
Which I may hang on to that Destiny and, do a quick eBay turnaround on that other one. I don't know. We'll have to see how much they're going for. But I think the more I play this, I think I really want to keep that and have him sitting up there with all my other game memorabilia. Put my dinklage up with my Norths, with my Nolan. Let's see, on my shelf there is the Uncharted 3 statue. Then there is the Uncharted 2 knife.
Okay.
That came in that really limited edition. There is the Batman thing from Arkham City. And what else do I have up there? I've got Slimer from Ghostbusters from the collector's edition of that. That's sitting up there, and so I can put my Ghost, my dinklage up there with everything else. What I am lacking and what I would really like, but they are going for way too much money, is the statue that came out with the really uber limited edition of Last of Us last year. The Ellie and Joel statue.
Okay, I don't remember that one. But.
Yeah, it was like $150, but now it's going for like $600-$700. I think.
One bid on an open copy right now is $4.99.
Is that for the statue? The one
it comes with everything.
Yeah, $500.
Yep, $4.99. It's got one bid.
Yeah, $500. It's just not happening.
Nope.
You can buy it brand new for $2,000.
Yeah, they can keep that one.
Yeah, that's just it's not happening for me.
I'll take a picture of it, and that's it.
Yeah, the Duke Fruckham says the Uncharted 3 statue. It came. Uncharted 3 had a collector's edition that came with like a steelbook case, and then it came with, and I'm sure Nathan's looking for it right now, so he can throw a link into the chat room. But and had a statue of Nolan North. In fact, I'll throw. Oh, Matt is in the chat room. Look at that. What's up, Matt? I know you can't hear me just yet. Give it a few seconds. But hey, I gotta type to Matt. We don't see Matt very often.
You said it was Uncharted 3?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Didn't they all have limited editions, the Uncharted series?
Uncharted 1 did not.
They did not. Okay.
Yeah, because that was the...
Right.
Was that a launch title on PS3?
No.
Okay.
There's actually two different Uncharted 3 collector's editions.
There was.
Okay. There's one has a chest and one has a little box.
Yeah, that's something they usually do. I think Borderlands did that too. There's like certain tiers of...
Oh, God, Borderlands had a bunch, yeah. And then Borderlands had that big ammo...
The big
loot crate.
Loot
crate, yeah, that one. Yeah, like I said, there's different tiers of collector's editions, like the A tier, B tier, C tier, whatever.
Yeah, if when we go to our break here in just a minute, I'll throw a picture. I have a picture of my collector's shelf that I'll throw up there. But yeah, I'd put him up there with that one, so... I really, really wish I could get that statue. But have you played anything else? You got into the Destiny. You were doing the Destiny beta. You did Hearthstone. You did Heroes of the Storm.
Yes, and Risk of Rain.
And Risk of Rain.
Other than that, and then I'm on the last level of Sniper Elite.
Okay,
yes.
I'm on the next to the airfield is where I'm at.
Okay.
Destiny has been pretty much.
Yeah, I want to beat Sniper before The Last of Us comes out.
Yeah, well, you should do that. I got to finish up. This Destiny beta is really killing me. I'd like for it to go away now because I can't stop playing it. But anyway,
Bungie's just forcing your controllers. Like, no, I want to play some. Nope, Destiny.
I tell you, man. Last night I fired up and went through the Titans, or at least went through the Titans introductory mission, and then I went through the Hunter's introductory mission, and for whatever reason, they're the same mission.
Yeah.
But I loved playing as the Hunter. I really liked him. And so now I kind of want to put. In fact, when we go to stream later, I mean, I've got my Warlock is at level 8, and he's up there. I don't really want to go through him, so I'll probably go to my Hunter and play more of him, and we'll go through some of the missions. Okay. Me and Nate can go through some of the missions. Did you get that moon mission in that they just unlocked at like 4:00?
At like 4:10, I already beat it.
Yeah, I went through. The PS4's here. It's upstairs here in the studio with us now. But I went downstairs, found an office, hooked it up to a TV there, and played that. And one of our guys, I believe he's in the chat room with us right now, Cavalier UK, popped on and helped me go through the moon mission. So we did co-op through there.
Did you find the wizard?
We had to fight a wizard on the moon. Yes, we did.
You did?
Did you fight a wizard on the moon?
I did.
Okay, that's what I thought. When the gates of the moon temple, this is really fun stuff you're listening to.
A temple on the moon?
Even though it killed me, that dude standing on the background behind you, now I really want to know who he is. Like,
right,
that was that's such a great teaser.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, the doors open and there's like a swarm of the fallen coming through. And of course it's like grenade.
Oh, go ahead, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, that's the second sighting of that person, right?
Well, it's one when you get your ship.
Yeah.
When you first get your ship, it's the end of that introductory mission that I was talking about.
Yeah.
You see him or her, and then at the moon mission, before those doors open up,
you
see him again. So,
and now we have to wait.
Yeah, exactly. Until it gets released. I've been playing the Destiny beta. I've been playing some pinball. I'll pop in every now and again. We had fun last week after the show playing Speedrunners, which was great, and Nidhogg, which was great. We enjoyed playing those, and we'll be doing some of that next week. Like I said, this week we're gonna pop into the Destiny beta and show that off and stream some of that while we after the show. So stick around for that. And what else did I play? Walking Dead. I played that. Can't talk about it because all the other people haven't played it yet. Have you done that yet? Are you doing Walking Dead?
I never did Walking Dead. I just did Wolf Among Us.
What drew you to Wolf Among Us but not Walking Dead?
When James a while back was talking about Fables and the story behind that, and I went out and got a copy of the of a
nice.
graphic novel,
Nice.
and I read through that, and I've been interested in the Fables universe ever since. When I heard that Wolf Among Us came out, just decided to pick it up, start playing that.
Awesome. Well, that's perfectly acceptable then. Anyway, so we're gonna take a break. Is there anything else that I've played? I can't tell. I don't know. Been kind of a, I don't know why it's been kind of a blur, but it feels like it's been kind of a blur. Comic-Con has been a blur. So yeah, but pinball, Walking Dead, Destiny, that's where I played some Towerfall yesterday with the guys at Retro Game Planet. This is where I plug Retro Game Planet. They're in Prattville. If you're local, head to Prattville. Retro Game Planet, it is exactly what it says, retro gaming. Tons and tons and tons of stuff. Plus, they've got new stuff as well. They've got 360 and PS3 stuff. I don't know about PS4 or Xbox One stuff yet, but I got to look at the Nintendo that was built out of wood. That guy that called in.
That's right. Yeah.
I got a chance to look at that yesterday. And then we played some Towerfall on the PS4. First time I had played that. That's another good one. Like we were doing last week with Nidhogg and Speedrunners. It's another 4-player competitive little game, and it was a lot of fun. If you've got PlayStation Plus, guess what? It's free. If you've got PlayStation Plus and PS4, guess what? It's free. So take advantage of it if you can. Hey, let's take a commercial break. When we come back, we will have more of In-Game Chat in just a moment. Here is music from Saints Row the Third. We'll be right back. And welcome back to In-Game Chats. Thank everybody for listening. We'll do, I tell you what, since we'll probably be on the phone with Gerard coming up at, or HipHop, I'm not sure exactly what he wants me to call him. I'll have to ask him that when we're on the phone. Let me go over everybody who's in the chat room right now. And if it gets bigger in the 8 o'clock hour, or 7 o'clock hour, we'll do it again. But Arioka is in there. Cavalier UK, by the way, thanks for helping me out with the Moon Mission in Destiny earlier there, Cavalier. Deter Lavos. Digital Hughes, Jason, hey. Duke Frucum 2, who wants my entire Drake shelf that I have. I'm going to have to post some pictures of my other collectibles that I've got up there. My autographed copy of Last of Us.
What we will do is we will take the pictures and post them on the Facebook page so you guys can go check that out and like it.
I should do that, huh? I forget Facebook so many times.
Yeah, little advertisement on the Facebook page.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'll throw those up there for you. But who else? We have Calisynth in there. Also, Medusa's Mirror, who gave me the book, who gave us the book that everybody is going to get a chance to read now. But definitely check it out if you don't want to wait for it to come around to you. Head on over to you can get it a Kindle version. They've got. Honestly, I'm probably going to go out and get a hardback version of this and see if he's going to be in Seattle for PAX and see if I can't get an autographed copy of the book. That'd be great to have. Let's see. Multile is in there. Nabokov Fan is in there. Hey, man. See. Tactus 59, Truth Unknown, and the guy who is on the phone with us right now, when he presses it right, W. Matthew is in the chat room and on the phone. Hey, man.
Hey, I was just calling to point you guys in the direction of probably the biggest news of the week. Google, it is official. Google has bought Twitch for a little over $1 billion.
I know, $1 billion. Now, do we know, from what I remember reading back in May when the rumor was that it was $1 billion and it was all cash, which I thought was strange. But I don't know if that's the case. But that is, as far as I know, that is confirmed and that is happening. Google has bought Twitch. And I don't know what this means for Twitch. I really hope it doesn't mean Google Plus interaction.
Google has seemed to start backing off of Google Plus, so I kind of doubt that. And given, I guess, the only other company we know that was buying for Twitch was Microsoft, I guess Google is probably the least evil of the two.
Possibly. I don't know. It all depends on what they're going to do with it, man. I really don't know. I don't remember YouTube before Google had its hands into it.
Honestly, I think Twitch in and of itself is probably going to be left alone with the addition of more back-end stuff, which is what they need desperately. But I think Google wants the streaming tech that they can then actually integrate into YouTube, but I think Twitch is going to end up being mostly left alone.
Well, see, I kind of feel that way, but I've been using YouTube since 2005. Maybe even a little bit before that. And, I mean, right when it was brand new. And when Google first bought YouTube, for like 2 years, they didn't touch it. They didn't mess with it or anything. And it worked great, and everything went great. And then, over the years, they've just been slowly integrating all of their stuff into it. So, I hope they don't mess with Twitch. And they might not for a first year or two. But I definitely think they're going to, put their own thing in there, which isn't that bad. It just depends how much they change it. But, yeah. Well, we'll see.
The reason why I think they'll probably end up leaving Twitch alone is largely because Twitch is gaming specific.
Yeah.
Yes, they're going to use the tech and add it to YouTube, I'm sure, but the actual Twitch part is probably going to be left for gaming. And to be honest, there's really only 4 companies on Earth that could have actually bought Twitch, and I'm not talking about for money reasons. I'm talking about there's literally only 4 companies on Earth that have the infrastructure to use Twitch in any productive way, and that is Google, Microsoft, Facebook, and Amazon. No one else, no other company has the kind of back-end infrastructure those 4 companies have.
Hey, you just gave me a horrible thought. Imagine if Facebook bought Twitch. Oh, gosh.
Jesus.
It'd be nice to have some integration with Twitch and Facebook so that our stream could be on our Facebook page. And I don't know if you actually can do that, but as far as I've looked around, I can't. But yeah, no, Facebook, I won't say they blew their wad on Oculus Rift because obviously they've got plenty of money. But that was their big buy, and Google's buy is Twitch. Did Microsoft buy anything recently?
No, as far as we can tell, Facebook has actually been supporting Oculus pretty well.
They have. I mean, they really haven't gone in there and ripped it apart or done anything. The world hasn't ended for Oculus.
It's not even that they didn't leave them alone. It's that it appears not only did they buy Oculus, but then they said, here's a whole bunch of money to Oculus as well. Because if you look at what Oculus has been doing with buying the company that made the 360 controller, going and setting up a developer conference specifically for VR, you see that it isn't just, hey, continue what you were doing, you're now owned by Facebook. It's like, here's a whole bunch of money to do this right.
Yeah, and a lot of people in the chat room are saying that, Google is not going to just sit around and do nothing with Twitch. Now, they may not make it worse. They may just throw in enhancements. They've already, you kind of saw this coming every time you go to Twitch, and it's like, hey, don't forget to link up your YouTube account so that we can notify your YouTube people of when you're broadcasting. And so to integrate live streams in with YouTube, I know YouTube already has a live feature to it, but
it's not very good.
No, exactly. To some way put this through YouTube, or just have the content available in better ways and in more ways than just going to Twitch, going to YouTube and watching Twitch videos, or going to, was it Frucom that said that? They're better archiving, better search functionality, and obviously we hope they have better app functionality with Android and iOS, which I think we'll see.
Also, I said it before, but don't underestimate Google's back-end infrastructure. That has been Twitch's Achilles heel for the last year or so, is the back-end infrastructure. They are struggling to handle the demand that they've got.
Yeah.
Being bought by Google gives them access to ready-built infrastructure they could use very quickly.
Yeah, and again, I only hope for the best. I'm scared of the worst, obviously. I'm scared of... I'm scared of the. They can't touch it with their copyright stuff. They can't.
Oh, that I doubt. Like, if anything, I suspect as far as the copyright stuff is really going to be music. Don't be stupid with the music stuff. Yeah. But that I expect. Beyond that, I don't think they're going to do much beyond that. And I do fully expect them to take the Twitch streaming tech and integrate it into YouTube. Mm-hmm. Which is why I think is probably one of the big reasons Google bought them. It's not just the 60 million a month user base, it's also the actual tech behind Twitch that they probably want. And let's not forget, besides you could already send your archives to YouTube, you could already do notifications through YouTube for Twitch, but Twitch also, for all of the ads, they use Google AdWords and Google AdSense for their ads anyway. They're already pretty closely tied to Google to begin with.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think we're on the same page as far as just not something that we're currently, afraid of what might come. I'm actually more hopeful of what might come out of it than I am afraid. I'm always like this, actually, whenever for the most part, whenever a company buys something else that I love, I'm kind of hopeful in that. But throwing it in a completely different arena, when EA bought Criterion, I was very happy because EA was going to be able to work out their deals to get Burnout Online.
I'm gonna say, didn't you? But EA had a pretty bad history, even when they bought Criterion. EA has always had a bad history when buying studios. That isn't anything new. Yeah,
and then, of course, you kind of see what happened there. And I'm not saying Criterion's dead. It's not. They are working on something, but they haven't done a Burnout since Paradise. But, I mean, think about it. That was when EA bought Criterion when Burnout Takedown came out. That was Burnout 3. Under EA, they were able to do Burnout Revenge. They were able to do a bunch of different handheld versions and another retrospective thing on PS2. They were able to do Burnout Paradise, and there was a lot with that. They were able to put out the PC version of this game. It had never been on a PC before, but they were able to do that. I think there was a lot of good that came out of it. Looking at it now, it's like, well, I kind of hate what has become of it, but I'm hopeful. But still.
But that is something EA has a kind of nasty habit of doing, is ruining studios. Again, that isn't really new. They've been doing that since the 90s.
Duke Frucom says, I doubt Twitch has any IP that Google doesn't already have a variation of. In other words, Twitch's patents are not why Google supposedly bought them.
It's not the patents that they want. They want the underlying tech. Just because you could make a less good version of what they're doing doesn't mean you don't want the tech. Google bought recently, earlier this year, it's not related to games, but an AI company, specifically image analysis AI company. They wanted the tech. They could do it too. They just couldn't do it as well. Mm-hmm. This is about tech. This is about the 60 million people that use Twitch as an audience. This isn't necessarily patents necessarily. I don't think Twitch has any useful patents. This is purely tech and eyeballs.
Well, let me throw two things at you. What do you think is the best that can come out of this acquisition?
I think the best that can come out of it is largely Twitch left alone with everything by default going into YouTube. And maybe, who knows, maybe the actual streaming tech gets fully integrated into YouTube so it is one place. The worst is Twitch will largely be left alone, because a lot of people think, oh, Google is going to destroy Twitch. I kind of don't see that, just because Twitch, while granted 60 million users, is very specific to gaming. I don't think Google is going to turn Twitch into Ustream, which is ironically same company, but Twitch is better tech. Mm-hmm. But I really do think Twitch is largely going to be left alone. They don't have a reason to do anything to it. They have a reason to take the tech and build it into YouTube. They don't necessarily have a reason to destroy Twitch.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I hope that's what what happens. I hope we get the best out of this, and I think honestly, I really think we will. I think too many people use it, and I think it brings in a ton of I want to say a ton of revenue for them, for Google really to do anything that will kill it, that will hurt it, that will change that. And if it ever goes in that direction and they start seeing the income drop, it's like, oh, we made a mistake, fix that. I mean, as much as we all hate Google Plus, they do things that are mistakes, like Google Wave, and they realize these mistakes. Although they did kill Google Reader, which was the worst of the things that they ever killed. I really wish they'd have never killed that. Yeah. I still hate that they killed that, although Feedly's working out fine for me. But I really hate that they killed Google Reader. Oh, man, why?
All right, I got it.
What you got, Nate?
So you know how Google's been integrating the cars, that drive themselves?
Right.
So you'll have Twitch in your car that drives you to your location, so you can never stop watching Twitch. Just saying.
Or YouTube or whatever else.
That's what I'm saying. Check your Google Plus, Yeah.
Quite possible. So, hey, man, thanks for the call.
Yep, thank you.
Appreciate it. We'll talk to you again later.
Yep.
And if you would like to get in on the conversation and talk about whatever you want to talk about as far as games or anything like that is related, give us a call. Do it. 334-272-9228. You'll get to talk to Nathan in there, who's really got nothing else to do but talk on the phone. 334-272-9228. And post in the chat room. I appreciate you doing that. Coming up in about 7 or 8 minutes here, we got HipHopGamer going to be calling into the show and talking to us. Again, this is a guy that I met at E3, sort of. He probably doesn't even know who I am. When I sent him the invitation, I said, hey, I met you at E3, but I didn't tell him where, I didn't tell him how, any of that. but he's just such a positive guy. He doesn't care. He's like, sure, man. Hey, everything's great. We'll talk. One of the most enthusiastic, positive people in gaming I have ever had the pleasure to meet. And we're going to be talking to him coming up at 8 o'clock. There was a video he did, and Nathan, see if you can find this. I think it's on his YouTube page, but it was Black versus White versus the Truth.
You're posting it now.
And it was about games journalism and the lack of black journalists in the in the video game industry. But again, if you watch this video, this is a perfect example of this guy's positivity and outlook on things. It's just nothing but good things, man. It's just really good things. And I admire that attitude. I do. Because so many times we sit here and talk about and I don't say that we do it because there's that whole situation of Batman made the Joker and Joker made the Batman type situation. We're not like this just for no reason at all. We're not cynical or we're not skeptical for no reason at all.
We're worried about the business.
We've been through the bruises, and we've been through the lies, and we've been through the here's what you're going to get to do, and then here's what you actually get type situation, to where for me it's hard to be positive about anything. It's wonderful to look at first and to take it in, that little moment of however long the video is. They show us something brand new, and let's say it's a minute and a half, and it's like, okay, for that minute and a half, I'm excited. And then I'll watch it a second time, and I'll start thinking about things. Is this really how it's going to work? Let me look at this. I start noticing that. I start analyzing it, and start really thinking about, how is this going to be implemented? How is this actually going to come to me? And I can't help but be...
Where are they lying to me?
I can't help but be cynical about it and look at it and think, this is not the truth. They are not showing me the truth. We've had that in plenty of situations. We've had it with bull shots, which were the screenshots that were completely touched up and did not look anything like what they were when they released. And easily with Watch Dogs, we had it with, here's what it looks like and here's what you get.
Yep.
And that was just in the looks category, much less, if you really want to talk about the story and everything else in the game, you can go there too and just say it was bad.
Boy, howdy, man.
But I'm really interested in talking to him about that positive attitude that he has on things, and really kind of get into that. So, but yeah, so it's and let's see. Somebody in the chat room says talking about racism. No, it's not. There's nothing racist about this. I haven't said anything that was, as far as I know, I haven't said anything that was racist about what I was just talking about. We're talking about lies in video games and perception in the way that we see things that are revealed to us, the way things are shown to us. My head always goes to marketing.
Yeah.
Where... I work in advertising, basically. In a sense, this is advertising here.
All the conferences, all the videos, they are meant to sell you.
They are
game.
picked. Yes,
That's their job.
They are handpicked, strategically picked. So everything you see is the best of what they've got to offer at that point in time, and should be the one that sells you. It should sell you. So anyway, we'll be talking to him coming up at 8 o'clock. Or 8 o'clock, coming up at 7 o'clock in just a few minutes. So, what else do we have on the list? Was there anything else? You said there was a Mass Effect 4 reveal just a minute ago, or not long ago?
There's something about Mass Effect 4. They showed off some images at Comic-Con of the armor for your character and the Mako. Yeah. But I am not finding anything else aside from those images. Just, again, the reiteration that you're not going to be playing Commander Shepard, which... we already knew that.
Yeah.
But nothing else aside from that. It's still kind of coming out from California at the moment.
I never played Mass Effect 3. Never got around to it.
I only played 1.
Yeah.
I didn't even beat that.
I did. I played a little bit of 1. I played a whole lot of 2. Never finished it. And I never played 3. So, Back in the day when we used to do the show out of my house, that was when Mass Effect 3 released, and we had at least a 2-hour conversation on the subject of Mass Effect 3 and James's dislike. But it sort of rang universal, man. That ending rang universal between a lot of people as to how they really didn't like how it went, and said, "This is the culmination of everything. Here we go into the negativity again." I'd like to try and not do that. It's a challenge. I'd like to try and not be negative about that stuff, but it's very hard to do.
Well, I don't think, from what I remember at the time, none of us, or at least anybody who played it, wasn't terribly down on the ending, the original ending, that is.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the internet was exploding because you didn't have the Fallout 1 and 2 style of here's what all your choices cause. This is the main complaint I heard. It was like, what about this little thing I did on this particular space station? Why don't I find out the result of that? Or it was a lot of that, from what I recall.
All right, well, we're going to take a break, and then when we come back, we'll have more of In-Game Chat in just a minute. This is, God, I did initials, so I can't read. What is that? Music show. Oh, Halo, Spartan Assault. It's seriously, it says IGC MSHSA. This is from Halo, Spartan Assault. It's called Finishing the Fight. We'll be back in just a minute with more of In-Game Chat. In just a moment, we'll be right back. Holy crap, that's loud. And welcome back to In-Game Chat. I don't even know if that needs any kind of... I'll tell you, that's Sonic, obviously. But if anybody didn't know, there you go. That is Sonic. Which is interesting, reading Console Wars again. Mm-hmm. It is that book is so much about Sonic. I mean, I know it's pretty much... I'm not exactly sure where it's going to go. I think it's going to go through the beginning and end of Sega. It seems to be in that direction, but... I never know where it's going, but man, that is nothing but how Sonic was the savior of Sega Genesis. Mm-hmm. As far as the property that they needed to fight back against Nintendo. So, but anyway, that's what that is. And on the phone right now, we're going to go to him. It is HipHopGamer on the phone. Hey, man, thanks for calling in.
Yo, thank you for having me, man. It's crazy right now, man, out here doing my thing out in New York. So just having a good time, man. How you guys doing?
Oh, we're doing great, man.
Excellent.
I really appreciate it. You're an hour ahead. It's a Saturday night, so you giving us your time means the world to us. So thank you so much for that.
No problem, man. It's my honor, man. For real, you guys are doing big things, so glad to be a part of it right now.
I'm telling you, this guy is nothing but positive. I don't know if you know how we met, you and I personally. I had seen you at a few E3s. I want to say I saw you at some PAXs. Have you ever been to PAX?
Yeah, I've been to PAX Prime and PAX East and stuff like that. So I missed a few PAX Primes, but I've been, to Seattle for it. So I meet so many people, and I just don't remember. I don't remember how I met everyone I know.
No, it's fine. You and I never formally met. We didn't actually exchange names or business cards or anything like that. What happened was this year at E3, I got my first HipHopGamer E3 experience because I sat next to you at E3 during the Sony press conference.
Oh right, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I do go kind of crazy. Like when I'm a big gamer. You know what I'm saying?
It was great.
I wear my heart on my sleeve.
It was great. I talked about this when I got back and said, I said, oh yeah, I went to the Microsoft thing, went to EA. Did I get into? Yeah, I got into Ubisoft, and then I went to Sony, and Sony was the one I enjoyed the most. Why is that? Because I sat next to HipHopGamer. The dude exudes excitement every time something came up on the screen. He was like holding my arm, and he was holding me back, and he was ecstatic. He was excited. It is something I had never seen from people in the audience before, man. And go ahead.
Look, I'm sorry to cut you off, man, but it's funny you say that because, in 2013, Sony actually used me in their promotional Sony commercial because I was one, like, as soon as they announced the $3.99 price and the fact that they was keeping everything the same and not going the DRM route, I was going crazy. I was holding the belt up. It was ridiculous. So now this year, sitting next to you, oh man, I'm sorry that I kept grabbing your arm and
I am not complaining about that. Man. I'm not complaining about it. I want to sit next to you next year, man. I want to sit next to you at all of these things because it changes. Seriously, it changes my outlook on what I'm seeing. Now, I watch them. I can go through all the press conferences that I saw that day, and Sony's is the only one that stands out as like that's the one I had fun at. Why? Man, because I was sitting next to you, and you were having fun. Everybody else that I sat next to, it wasn't that they didn't have fun, but everybody looks at it with the snark and want to come at it with the, well, they're doing that, but boy, it looks really crappy, or they're doing this, and I guess they're going after this market. They sit there and they analyze it to the point that they're not having fun. And I'm as guilty as everybody else, man. But when I sat next to you, that enthusiasm, that excitement, that whole sense of, I'm just enjoying the moment, totally rubbed off on me, and I enjoyed every single moment I had at the Sony press conference because of you.
Wow, man. Yo, I'm speechless right now, dog. I don't even know what to say to that. Like, just thank you very much. And real talk, I wanna give a lot of much love to my grandmother. You know what I'm saying? Like, she passed away in 2010, but my grandmother was the person that got me started playing video games since I was 4 years old. So all the love and joy that she instilled in me and, like, making me realize the power of a video game and the fun and the love you can have with it, oh, my God, that's been my life. You know what I'm saying? Hip-hop and games, that's been my life. So, when I was at the Sony all the press conferences, I do the same thing. Mm-hmm. But, sitting next to you, the problem, like, that's one of the problems that I feel in the industry. Like, by me doing what I'm doing, it's no different than what all these other journalists is used to when they in the privacy of their own home when they're playing games and they're excited. But they get mixed up with what is professional. People feel like if you're a professional, you got to act a certain way. You got to do this, you got to do that. Yo, nobody could teach you how to be a gamer, man. I'm born to do this. This is my life. This is my blood. So I'm going to show it. And the thing that bothers me is it was like a culture shock because when I got to the game industry, people were looking at me like I'm crazy. When in my mind, I'm like, how you looking at me like I'm crazy? And you've been in the industry longer than me. You're supposed to be showing like the love that I'm showing. Mm-hmm. So it's like that's one of the things I would say that make me stand out. But it's sad because it's something that everybody should be doing. This is video games, dog. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'll never hold back. You know me, I get hyped, son. You know what I'm saying? Like, that joint is crazy. So yeah. I just love, the creativity and everything. I just love what everybody's doing. I'm going to show it.
Yeah, I got to agree with you. I think it's all in us to have the attitude that you have. I think, because I don't think that, we're not born, we don't go into this thing with the snark and with the, let me judge everything that's released, with a nose up attitude or an attitude of, it looks great, but it's probably going to suck. Type situation.
Yeah, like that negativity, man. I can't rock with that, man.
Yeah, we're not necessarily born to be doing that. And so I think it is in every single one of us who watches these things can go back to when we watched them almost as a kid when we weren't aware of all the business practices, and we weren't aware of all the behind the scenes that go into making something. We just saw something that caught our eye and that excited us, and we didn't worry about the rest. We were like, okay, I can't wait to play that. Even though months from the time that it was revealed, we do get to play it.
Yeah.
We didn't think back on it. We didn't think back that, hey, this isn't what they showed us. We just played it and we enjoyed it, and we're like, this is the thing that I was excited for, and now I get to play it, and I'm still excited for it, and I got through playing it, and I'm still excited that I had that chance. I think that's still in everybody that watches that. But you're exactly right that they go through there and they have to overanalyze, and they have to be professional, and you want to be professional when you interview somebody if you want to, but that moment there, everybody else is watching it. If you're reporting on it, if you're reporting on it, then you don't have to give your analyzation of what you're seeing. You just need to relay what you're seeing, but you don't have to report on it because it's everywhere now. People get to watch the same thing that you get to watch. There's no need to be professional to do that. Just enjoy it for what it is.
Exactly. That's what it is. Like people, it's so funny you say that. That's why, not to sound cocky or anything, but when I say I'm the number one journalist and stuff like that, people be like, they take offense to it because they're like, oh, you don't have no journalist degree, or you from the streets, you don't even talk like us. How you think you whatever? But the thing is, the reason I'm number one journalist is because I never forgot what made me love games in the first place. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, like a lot of these journalists nowadays, if when you growing up and you play Nintendo for the first time, you know what I'm saying, or you play Genesis for the first time and all this other stuff, you had a different feeling, man. Mm-hmm. Like, what people don't understand is, like, games, the video games, dog, has saved people's lives, especially where I come from. I'm from East New York, Brooklyn, man. I'm from the hood. You know what I'm saying? And I know people that stayed out of trouble, avoided going to certain places that they shouldn't be at, you know what I'm saying, simply because of Altered Beast, because of Sonic the Hedgehog, like, you know what I'm saying? Because of Mario World. Like, this really saves lives for people, you know what I'm saying? And then, like, that, when I look at video games, I look at my life. I look at the love and the joy and the balance and the memories that it's given me all the way up to this very day right now. And when I do interviews or when I, look at people creating games, I always tell them, I love you, man, and God bless you, and I'm humbled and thankful for everything that you do. Even with PR, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you got an executive role or you are an intern. If you do anything a part of this industry that I love, that my grandmother put me on to, I love you from the bottom of my heart because it means that much to me. And a lot of people is like, it's their job, it's their paycheck. Dog, this is my life. I live off of it. I got over 20,000 games at my house, dog. Literally, I'm not even lying to you.
Yeah,
okay?
I do that. I treat the creators of that stuff like celebrities, and
hell yeah.
When I go,
sorry, I didn't mean to say hell.
No, you're fine. No, hell's fine. Like I said, you are actually on a radio station up in New York there, and that's fine. But hell is okay. Don't go too far from that. But and I don't think you will. That's another positive in your category, man. Is that I've watched plenty of your videos, and there's no vulgarity. There's nothing. I mean, you're
unless it's a shots fired. I mean, throw some vulgarity in there.
I haven't watched one of those yet. I haven't watched one of those yet.
Oh my God, you need to watch Shots Fired, because Shots Fired is basically bringing the balance to the BS that you see in the industry. I'll give you an example of a Shots Fired episode that I did. The whole Donald Sterling thing, with the racism and stuff that.
Yeah. Right.
I did a Shots Fired on that, but my Shots Fired was basically, it was aimed at us. It wasn't really aimed at nobody. It was aimed at us.
Was this the black versus white versus truth?
No, it wasn't that one. It was one that I did before that.
Okay.
But the black versus white versus truth, that wasn't a Shots Fired. That was more of me trying to educate people on the things that go on that they don't know about.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? See, being on the inside of the industry and knowing the way I've been treated in certain areas in certain ways, like, I've seen a lot and dealt with a lot, but God is good all the time, so I never worry about nothing. I'm built to win, so I will. You know what I'm saying? And that's only because of the strength of God. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, like, with the Shots Fired joint I was telling you about, the crazy thing about the whole Donald Sterling joint is because everybody responded to Donald Sterling with hate, and they were so mad at him. And rightfully so. We are human. We emotional. We get mad. But real talk, you're no better than the person you mad at because you attacked him the same way he attacked us. So what makes you so different from him? Mm-hmm. You don't have the right. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, I was trying to educate people that, if somebody throw hate at you, you have to break that cycle. You know what I'm saying? You have to teach a person that don't know better. So the way you teach them is you show them love, but you also show them understanding. And then that's going to throw them off about that. I threw hate at you, and you show me nothing but love. Maybe I got to look in the mirror and adjust some things about my character. That's how you help a person. So that's what that particular video is about. Shots fired. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now it's it doesn't apply in that sense of Donald Sterling and his outlook, but it does apply in the sense of what I took away from my time with you at E3, sitting next to you at the Sony thing. You know, it was one of those things where it's like I got to start looking at these games more for the fun that I can have with them, rather than more for the let me see how they're going to disappoint me situation. And let me ask you now: have you ever been disappointed by a video game before?
Yeah, I've been disappointed by quite a few video games, but it's the way you handle them. Like, I'll give you two situations. Like, one situation, I was on a panel. I did a panel at PAX East, actually, and one of the guys was disappointed in Diablo. So he did like a nasty review, but he had personal attacks on his review and everything. And I told him, I'm like, yo, look, whether you like a game or not, these people work hard to create it. They take time away from their families to make these games. It may not always come out the way you want it, but this is their baby. So imagine if you had a child and you show your child to someone, and they just attack your child and hate on your child and do all this other stuff. Are you really going to respect and care what they got to say about your product? No. So it's constructive. So you give constructive criticism respectfully, but you also provide suggestions to help them, to let them know that you are a part of them. You want to see them succeed. So I'm going to help you and tell you things that you could do better. But regardless of anything, whether it's good or bad, I still support you. Let's rock. You know what I'm saying? Everybody deserves a second chance. Yeah. So that's my approach to that when it comes to that. And secondly, Never Dead. Aliens, Colonial Marines obviously was bad. But Never Dead was a game I was very excited for, because you could take your whole body apart and you never die. Like you could roll around as a head. You could do all of this stuff. Like that concept was crazy. But the thing is, they abused the concept, because every time you got hit, you get hit one time and your limbs is falling off. You spend more time trying to get your body back together than actually playing the game. So, that was disappointing to me. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, I look at games with a different vision. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, if I play a game and the frame rate is good, graphics is high, because it got some cool, unique features to it or whatever, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to go. I'm ready to play. A lot of people be like, oh, well, this is just like this and this is just like that. Yo, shut up. Like, y'all be wondering about, like, real talk. I'm like, yo, like, get out of this industry. You don't belong here. And I'll tell a person that, too. It's like, word up.
Well, some of the people in the chat room have a question. A Bakov fan wanted me to ask about how you started. How did you get into gaming? What is the earliest games that you played? What were those?
Well, I mean, the earliest games that I played, I started out with Atari 2600 because that's what my grandmother had got me, and then moved on to Nintendo. So in terms of the early days, I've been playing games since I was born in '82, so I've been playing games since like '86 and stuff like that. So in terms of the early part of gaming, in terms of the business side, I was watching G4. It was like their game of the year coming towards the end of the year, stuff like that. So Adam Sessler and a couple of other people, I forgot what they gave game of the year or some of the things that they said on the program. But I was like, yo, these dudes is lying. I love Adam Sessler. That's my boy. So I was like, yo, these dudes is lying. Ain't no way in the world they could say this when, like, the things they were saying and the way they was explaining it sounded like corporate talk. It didn't sound like the normal talk that I hear from Adam Sessler that particular episode. So I was like, I'm tired of this. I got to start talking about this myself. So that's when I started making my YouTube videos. I got discovered by a friend of mine named Torrance Davis, who used to own his website called thebitbag.com. Then through him, I got a chance to go to E3 in 2008, which is my first E3. And when I got to E3, people looking at me like I'm crazy. I got this big belt, like, bandana and everything, hat backwards. Who is this guy? He don't look like the industry You don't know who is this guy. So nobody took me seriously. But when I did my first interview with Aaron Greenberg, and I made him stumble a little bit on some things, and I was questioning him about Blu-ray and PlayStation and all this other stuff. But that's my boy. I love Aaron Greenberg to death. That's my brother right there. And then I did an interview with Hideo Kojima. Everybody was like, yo, this new hip-hop game, blah, 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 blah. And it just kind of like, blew up from there because nobody never seen nobody like me before. So, it's just a passion, man. When you got passion and you just real about what you do, nobody can stop you, man. Only yourself. Real talk. So that's kind of how I started.
He has another question. The Baka fan says, have you ever been to a fighting game tournament and felt that atmosphere there?
Yeah, fighting game tournament. Yeah, I've never been to Evo though. I gotta go to Evo.
I know.
Go there.
I know.
Gotta go to Evo. Fiending to go to Evo. But they had a Capcom. They had a fighting game tournaments out here in New York at this big warehouse. I forgot the name of it, but it's like this big warehouse. And I've been to these fighting tournaments. And dude, I'm telling you right now, ain't nothing like a fighting tournament, son. Like, the energy in the world is crazy, man. Like, all you gotta do is throw on Biggie and Tupac and let them battle out on Marvel vs. Capcom, and it's over. Like, just keep your cameras rolling, dog. It's gonna be like that. Oh my God. I wish I was at one right now. And it's funny you said that. It's funny you said that because I'm actually calling you guys from the Jacob Javits Center out here in Manhattan because there's a UFC match. There's like a real MMA fighting going on right now. Oh, so I'm actually watching a live MMA fight while I talk to you guys, but I had to go all the way in the background and stuff like that. But yeah, it's going down live right now, son. I
appreciate you giving us your time, dude. That's really great that you would take time out of doing that just to call, our little show and talk to us. That's great.
Yo, look, man, it's games, man. This is what we do, dog.
I watched the thing that got me to call you and have you on the show was I watched that video of black versus white versus the truth.
Thank you, man. A lot of people hit me up about that, and it was like moved by it.
I wanted to ask how that video had been received, how you had seen people receive that video.
Oh, well, 98% of the feedback that I got was beyond positive. It was very, very, very well received. Mm-hmm. And not just from black people, you know what I'm saying? From people, period. Gamers all over. Everyone that got a chance to see it, like, really enjoyed it and was happy that somebody, spoke out about it. You know what I'm saying? So, to me, like I said, I saw the post on NeoGaf about is there any black gaming journalists? And in my mind, I was like, that shouldn't even be asked. But the thing is, I know why it's asked. Mm-hmm. Because there is quite a few black gaming journalists out there, but they don't get the proper recognition that they deserve for a lot of reasons. And one of the reasons are because they're black. There's a lot of racism in the game industry. Like I said, there's Donald Sterlings that exist there too. You know what I'm saying? It's just real. So the thing is, so when I was, making a video and everything, when I did my thumbnail and I used my face and Judge Keeley's face and stuff like that, is because I feel like from a black journalist standpoint, and this isn't a takeaway from any other black journalist, I'm cool with everybody, but I noticed in the NeoGaf post, my name was mentioned the most. Yeah. They even had a GIF of me, and the reason why is because it's obvious that I've done a lot of things to break down barriers and kind of change gaming, in terms of the way people looked at journalism, period. So that was the first thing. So because of that, I felt like from a black standpoint, from a journalist, I felt like I was leading that pack. So that's why I use my face and I use Jeff Keighley's face, because I feel like he's leading that pack in terms of the face of it.
Right.
So when I put that out, a lot of people was like, yo, why would you use his face? Why would you do this? I mean, I had plenty of conversations with Jeff Keighley. That's my man. But I also question certain things that he do and stuff like that, and things that I see. So, a lot of people, they started asking questions, you know what I'm saying, man? And they was like, yo, well, how come this person never gets a chance to do this? Or how come if you see a black protagonist in a game, there's always articles about why is this person black? Or, they never asked why Nathan Drake wasn't black. But, it's just every time it's something dealing with, a minority, there's always something extra that needs to be talked about or discovered. And I'm like, why? It's just like how they have Black America in America. No. We're American. Why you gotta segregate everything? Like, it's just, I'm trying to break that generational curse because we all people. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it shouldn't be that way. So that's one of the reasons why I really felt I need to put that video out to kind of educate and get exposed what goes on and how we, us as black people got to do a lot more harder work than a white person in the industry. And I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's fair. I'm saying it's the truth because I've seen it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, literally seen it. Like, I mean, there was a time where I did an interview with Peter Molyneux, but before I did the interview, right, there was a lot of other media waiting to do interviews. I was ahead of them. The lady looked at me, this white lady, she looked at me and looked me up and down and said, he's not taking no more interviews. And I'm like, well, these people is waiting too. She only spoke to me. You see what I'm saying? If I knew her name, I would tell y'all her name. But it would happen such a while ago. But I name names. You know what I'm saying? I ain't one of them punks that afraid to say something. I name names. So anyway, not to be long-winded. So when she told me that, I was like, well, all right, cool. So I still stood in my spot, and then me and Peter made eye contact, and then he told me to come over there. And we did an interview, and that same lady that tried to knock me from doing the interview because of the way I looked, she was like, oh, my God, that was the best interview. Oh, that was amazing. Oh, Peter loves you. Let me get the information. And man, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's all about the content of who you are as a character, man. Like, it has nothing to do with color. So that's just one out of many situations that I dealt with. Obviously, like this, you see I don't post on Info-G no more, right? See how they banned me, right?
Yeah.
That's a whole other story, but it's a lot of stuff, man.
Well, again, I appreciate you taking your time out of the UFC match going on over there to give us a call and be on our show. I appreciate. I mean, I know you didn't make it happen. I didn't make it happen, but you sat next to me, man. I really appreciated that time to spend with you at the Sony press conference at E3, and I hope to sit next to you at all the press conferences next year at E3 because you really do. You enlighten me. And you make them that much better because I can feed off of your energy and excitement and just raises the level of the experience for me. So thank you so much for that.
Oh man, God bless you, my brother. I appreciate you, man, and everybody listening and everybody there on staff. Love you guys. God bless, and thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it. And just anybody that want to check me out, just follow me on Twitter, HipHopGamer, Instagram, HipHopGamer. Hot97.com, HipHopGamer.com, all of that. Just link up with me. And email me, man, HipHopGamer at HipHopGamerShow.com. Send me an email. Let's do some stuff together, man.
We'll do. We'll make it happen. Take care, and we'll talk to you later, all right?
All right, cool. One love, y'all. Peace out.
Later. That was HipHopGamer, and again, he gave you all the places you can go and check him out. I know Nathan's thrown a ton of links into the chat room for his site. I think it's hiphopgamer.com. You can go. Everything you need to know will be at that site. And he was. I'm telling you, dude is the most positive man I have ever met in gaming, and he'll change your experience. All you have to do is just sit next to him, spend some time with him. He will change the way you experience video games. So anyway, we're going to be back with our final segment in just a moment. Here is music from Soul Calibur in-game chat. We'll be right back. And welcome back to In-Game Chat. I was just giggling at the chat room. Nabokov fan was just like, WTF. And RJ, was like, oh, it's Space Channel 5. That's exactly what that is.
That's the appropriate reaction, Space Channel 5.
Typical reaction, yep.
Yeah.
But I'll still play it.
One of the... This was interesting, and I don't know why it's Space Channel 5 makes me think of it, because it wasn't Space Channel 5. I think it was... maybe it was Phantasy Star Online or something. I can't remember what it was. The book, Console Wars again, going back to that. So the guys from Sega had a meeting with 3 advertising agencies who were all pitching them their campaign for, like, here's what we're going to do for you for the Genesis and that sort of thing. And the first two did fine. There was a company that Sega was pretty much betting was the one they were going with. And then they had this other company who was coming in to do their final pitch. The benefit of them was that they were really close to Sega headquarters in America. But the bad side was that they were really inexperienced, and these other 2 companies were really good. The other 2 companies had worked with Nike on the Just Do It campaign and a couple other things that had just really done very well for those companies.
These guys were established then.
Yeah, they really wanted them, and these other guys weren't so established. So they go in there, and they've rented out this huge space, and it's got nothing but employees from that advertising agency in there, along with the Sega folks. And the owner of the agency comes out and says, before we get started, I want to point out this section over here. We took every game that you have in the Genesis library and we assigned it to one person in our company, and they have become experts on that title. So you can go ahead and ask them any question. And Sega asked a couple of questions to those people, and they got legit answers back from people who knew the games that they were talking about. And this was the way that they won them over. And then, of course, they did their campaign and the Sega Scream and everything else, and that's the one that they went with. But but one of the questions wasn't necessarily for Space Channel 5. I want to say it was for, not Phantasy Star Online, but it was something else very Japanese-centric in the game, and I cannot remember what it was. I just read it like 2 nights ago. But yeah, so that's what made me think of it. Completely random thought. So... let's see. Going over the news. We've only got about 20 more minutes in the show. Can't wait to start playing some Destiny. Seriously, I mean...
You got the itch.
Because the itch is almost over with. We get one more... And I haven't been able to play very much as a team.
$5 says it doesn't end tomorrow.
Well, there was rumor about that, which is fine. If it doesn't end tomorrow, that's great. But I've put in my time, and I've... Tomorrow I've got Silver Ball Sundays I got to do, so I'll do some of that. I've got... Gods Will Be Watching, and I'd like to stream some of that because I hear it's brutally difficult, but not in the difficult of
that one looks very
combat or anything. It's I don't know. I haven't played it yet to really give you an idea of that. Nabokov fan actually turned me on to that company that developed the game. And had been talking to them through Twitter and stuff, trying to get them for an interview. We actually haven't gone back to talk about getting them on for that, but and I haven't played their game yet, so I think I'll do that. But let's see, that to play. Still have Wayward Manor to go through. I haven't. Did you get any further in that? Did you stop?
No, I didn't start. I'll get through it at some point. It's just it's okay. I mean, I do want to play it again. It's just. It's like I said last week, I don't feel any kind of compulsion to get through it.
Yeah.
It's just like I said, it feels like, the kind of mobile game you load up for 5 minutes and, tap a bit and then...
I'm in the same boat.
Got another thing done.
I want to finish it now. I'll probably go through and finish up Chapter 2 tomorrow. And maybe put some time in it to do 3 or 4. But yeah, I mean, I read a review recently that echoed exactly what you had said, that feels like it's a mobile game that somehow got onto my PC.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what it feels like, given that one of the contracted developers is primarily a mobile development studio. It's not surprising. So. It's not bad. It's not a bad thing. It's just... I don't feel like that same way. Like, I want 100% Binding of Isaac. Like every time I don't do that in a run, it gnaws at me.
Yeah.
But I don't have that same feeling going through Wayward Manor. It's just like, I'll do another stage at some point. I don't feel any great need to do so.
Mm-hmm. So there's that, and I've got the place. But Destiny is what just keeps me coming back. What it really does, it gives me hopeful for the full game. Because right now the level cap's at 8. When we got off the show last weekend, I didn't play again until Sunday afternoon. Sunday afternoon late, and I finally hit the level cap after playing for about 2.5 or 3 hours. So it only took like a weekend and less than that just to get to the level cap. Which the point of a game like this is not to get to the level cap.
Yeah, no, because it's like the final level cap's going to be 20, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just 20.
But that's not the important thing.
No. It's really not. It's the gear. It's the story mode. It's the it's teaming up. It's Borderlandsy.
Remember, the level cap's 20, but you have it's like basically prestiging. So you'll hit level 20, but you'll see people that have like up to, I believe it's 36, as high as people have seen, that you keep leveling past 20. And that's increasing your stats and stuff still. Mm-hmm. So it's like your base is 20. That gives you all of your moves.
Okay, and then you get Paragon levels after that?
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and it's really something I'm looking forward to, and something that gives me hope about what's to come with that. Especially again the team ups. Like I did that strike. I don't know if we'll do the strike mission tonight for the stream. That 3-man strike mission, which. I was talking to Nate. It took him... How long did it take you to do? Like 30 minutes? But it took me 90?
Yeah, all the guys that I had played with had played in the alpha, so we all know what to do.
Yeah.
So it took like maybe 30 minutes to go.
I have no idea who I played with. These were just random pickups, man. That was it. Because it's a certain mission that's going to team you with 2 other players. And some of them didn't know that, hey, you got to get across this public map to get to the missions first.
Oh, yeah.
All they wanted to do was stay out there and play. And so
keep shooting.
2 of us would be down there and be like waiting on the guy to show up. And then, of course, he would die. And then it's like, do we go out there and respawn him or do we wait? What do we do?
None of you guys used to play WoW, right?
No.
No.
I gave it a shot and
long time ago.
Okay, well, like way back in like during Vanilla and even Burning Crusade, WoW used to do this thing where like you had to battle all these guys just to get to the entrance of the instance or the dungeon. Then you got to go into the dungeon. Mm-hmm. So people were kind of doing the same thing like people used to do. They would just sit outside fighting everything, thinking they're doing stuff, and it's like you got to get inside to start it.
And that's what we were waiting on doing.
It's kind of funny because I haven't seen that in years.
Yeah, and so with the first group we actually got in there, but the first time we all died, which again. Man, communication in that is really important. And none of us were talking to each other. We weren't. None of us knew that, hey, let's stick close, but not too close that a grenade will take us all out. But that we're close enough that we can revive a fallen member if we need to. So anyway, we all died, and we had to restart that particular section of the mission over with. It's split up into like 3 parts. The first part is you let Dinklage do some stuff while you defend.
Which is what wasn't that the one they've been... That was essentially their demo for E3 and before?
I think it might have been. I'm not exactly certain on that, but it's close to it. It was just basically he does this, and you've got to defend wave after wave of the fallen coming at you. And so when we died all through that, one of the guys quit. He didn't stay there. So it was just 2 of us now trying to go through the strike thing. And then we just couldn't do it. We kept having to... We got to like wave 3, and that was it. We just couldn't do it. So we stopped, and I jumped back in and got another pickup group. So we go through it. And it takes us forever to get through the waves. So once we get through the waves, that's great. Then it puts you out into this open space, but there's this spider tank that is just so difficult. Is there a key to doing that, or you just got to just keep going?
You shoot its legs. You want to have like 2 people shooting its front legs. All 6 legs take extra damage, bonus damage. Like it does around about 43 damage per hit on the legs. Yeah. Then once you take out its legs, it drops and the head opens. And then when you shoot the head, it does like 90 damage.
Yeah, no.
Or you shoot your rockets.
None of us were doing that.
Yeah, Cavalier UK in the chat room says that spider tank can be painful if people don't know what they're doing.
And we did not know what we were doing. It was just like, shoot it, just keep shooting it, don't die.
Oh,
okay, my grenade's recharged, throw the grenade. Okay, my super's charged, throw the super. All right, let's switch up, let's go back and forth, make sure you're not in the same place twice. Or it's in the same place long enough to where it gets a beat on you and then takes you out. And if it does, anytime our entire team got wiped, I ran to the back of the map to make sure. Yeah, because I didn't want that to be. I didn't want to reset that mission.
Yeah.
Oh God, I did not want that mission to reset. So I would go back there and wait for their respawn if I couldn't get to them.
Sounds like an issue I had in Borderlands 2. Me and some friends got together to try to take out it was a DLC, Son of Cromorax. And if anybody's played that, they know what happens in a boss battle of that. If all your teammates die, when you respawn again, the character's health is all the way back to full. So it took us a good 50 minutes to get it down to a third of its health back.
Yeah.
And then as I was respawning, the last person in the room died. And since we were all outside of the room, the health went back to 100%. And so we were like, you know what? We're going to stop, take a break, come back to this later on because we ain't going to have the patience to go through another 50 minutes to get it down to whittling it down to a third health now.
It happened on that spider tank thing. Some of us died and it got reset, and I thought, oh, here we go again. And then we went back and took it out. Then you have to go through, and then you have to fight the final boss of the mission, which is the third part. And he wasn't anything to really worry about.
No,
but,
he was pretty easy.
Yeah. So I tell you, the other thing we can go do is get all those chests that you were talking about. Yeah. So that I can get my cape.
Well, you get a bike.
Or you get a bike?
You get an upgraded speeder bike. It goes faster.
That's right. You get an upgraded speeder. Where do people get their capes from?
Crucibles.
Oh, that's right. That's right. The Crucibles. We could do some of those too.
Yeah, I plan on doing those.
Yeah, I did one of the Iron Banner ones, and I was actually on a winning team for that, so that was nice.
Nice.
But I haven't.
We might get lucky and get the rare ship.
Really?
It's just a random drop in the Crucibles. And by the way, the Blizzard just posted those are going to be open till 11 tonight.
11 Pacific time?
No, our time.
Oh, okay.
Like the PvP, they're just leaving it open for the rest of the night, basically.
Oh, nice. All right. Well, that's good.
So
we won't be here till 11.
No,
but,
I'm just saying.
But yeah, that's something else we can do. We can go do. I don't know what we want to do, but we got plenty of options there for us to do for Destiny. So we'll be doing some of that. Anything else pop up in the news you guys wanted to make mention of?
Journey is coming to the PS4, and I have not played that. I heard about it.
Man,
I always wanted to play
you have got a lot of good stuff to look forward to.
Like I said, I had switched to Xbox 360 right as they stopped making games, and right as PlayStation was getting all of their games.
Yeah,
they had that right at that end was right when I switched. So
Journey is really nice.
Yeah,
Journey's really really.
Yeah, imagine on PlayStation.
Have you played any of that game company's titles?
What else do they have?
They have Flow, they have Flower, and they have Journey.
Oh, yeah, I played Flow. I never played Flower, though.
Yeah. Flower's interesting. I was excited for it when it released, and I go and play through it now when I want to show it off to people, and they have no... For anybody that's not interested in it, they look at it and they're like, so...
Yeah, I mean...
So you're moving a pedal through the fields and collecting other pedals. Okay.
So you're weeds.
Yeah. Just didn't catch it, but I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed. The problem I had with that was the motion controls. They tied the motion controls into the direction, and I'm just not. I don't know if I'm old and uncoordinated, which is likely the case, regardless. But it just
don't you struggle with the touchpad?
Yeah, well, if it doesn't control like it controlled when I was growing up, then if it changes on me,
but you know, that's two things.
That's new stuff. I'm old.
Two things real quick on the Destiny beta.
Yeah.
I'm hoping Bungie decides to integrate something with the speaker on the controller. I thought for sure the Dinklage would come out of the controller.
Dinklage would come out of the controller, yeah.
And the touchpad. I mean, besides just tapping it, I'm surprised they're having. But you know, it's only the beta, so we'll see.
Yeah, I may have something in there. I'm not sure.
But I'm just kind of surprised.
So far, what about, no, your gun loading doesn't come out of there, does it?
No.
Because it does for Sniper Elite.
Yeah.
On the PS4.
You know how it has the menu, like, navigating through, it's kind of like a cursor style? Mm-hmm. I'm surprised you can't use the touchpad for that.
Yeah, that's interesting that you can't do that either. I've gotten so used to not using the touchpad for it now that it would be strange to go back to. But yeah, that is interesting that you couldn't do it. So I'm not sure that plan. Yeah, so we got a reward for the full version of Destiny by doing the moon mission. I assume there was no prompt or anything that popped up saying we got anything.
Logged on, you got it.
Yeah, no, you had to play the moon mission.
Oh, you did have to play it? Oh.
There was something you got by playing the moon mission, yes.
Okay.
However, they only timed that thing for 2 hours. James was asking me about that earlier in the show. Why would they make that mission time limited? He said he was able to play it a second time, but then it was locked.
Bungie. I really don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Ooh, here's some great news. The Room is coming to Steam this week.
I'll say, speaking of mobile games going on PC.
Oh, man. There's your good one.
Yeah, The Room. I played The Room on Android and The Room 2 as well. And
I have not yet played The Room 2. It's one of the... I know. It's like...
how could you not play The Room 2?
Because I have a weird way of looking at things, man. I do. Here's the thing. I have This
is like everything...
I know.
It feels very similar to Myst, and it's like, how can you not have picked it up?
It's a strange thing, and it doesn't justify the reason I haven't played it yet. But I'll tell you the way that my head works. It's the same reason I never finished Myst 5, and it's the same reason that I never watched the final... I taped it, and it's still on my DVR, but the final shuttle launch. I never watched it. Because if I never watch it, if I never finish it, it never ends. It's never done. And so it's always there. And it's
Sounds
a weird,
like a personal problem.
It's a stupid rationale. It really is. But it's one of those things, it's like, it's like putting the last M&M in your mouth and not eating it. Just like, let me, savor the flavor for a little while.
I never did that, man.
What?
Savor the flavor of an M&M?
Whatever. Candy. It doesn't matter.
All good things, man.
I know, exactly.
They all have to come to an end.
Exactly. So yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, I'll always have it there and I'll always have it to look forward to. But no, I will eventually get around to it. I just don't know when I'll pull that trigger. I had just finished The Room when The Room 2 was out.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
I was like, I gotta get this next one because
I know that wasn't like me. I didn't want to pour through it like that. I wanted to enjoy it and take my time and not have it be done with. Because you've already finished it.
Yes.
So it's almost like I'm envious of Nate because he hasn't played Last of Us. He gets to go through that again without knowing it. He gets to go through Journey again without knowing how. Man, Journey is.
Well, it's like I want to play Binding of Isaac Rebirth without having played Binding of Isaac.
I know, and you can't do that.
I wouldn't be interested in it if I didn't already have that experience. I want to experience everything that's out there.
I know. What I need is the Men in Black thing and just be like, Soomp. All right, what is this new game here? What's this called? Last of Us? All right. I'll give it a shot. Naughty Dogs, probably nothing. Probably Drake with zombies.
What have they made,
It's Uncharted with zombies. I'll just play that and see how it is.
This flash thingy. What's this sort of a skull on it? Here, you can have this. I don't want it anymore.
Yeah.
You come into the show, guys, I just played this amazing game, The Last of Us.
Well, that'd be great for Walking Dead, The Telltale game, Walking Dead's Telltale game would be, or Telltale's Walking Dead game.
I'm not gonna lie, I had a tear.
Yeah. It was good. I didn't have a tear.
I did.
I didn't cry. Did I has any game ever made me cry?
Usually someone says Aerith dying in Final Fantasy around this point.
They die? I don't know. I don't know who that is.
What we could say is tune in next week to find out what has made him cry.
I don't know.
No, the only time I've heard a game associated with making someone
wait
cry
a second. Never mind. I got it.
Yeah, they call it the Flower Girl, but Aerith, when she gets killed in Final Fantasy. That's the only incident I can think of where someone. A lot of people say it brought a tear to the eye.
Yeah, it's not. It wasn't a thing that happened. It wasn't a cliche thing in games, at least at that time. It was. I
didn't cry. I got choked up, but I did not cry for Valiant Hearts. Did any of you played that yet?
I've watched you play it.
Yeah,
but I haven't played.
It looks like that kind of game, though.
Yeah, Valiant Hearts got me choked up. Did not make me cry, but got me choked up.
Okay, maybe that's when I need to say then choked up for the last.
Yeah, like it didn't. There were no tears, but it was like that big lump in the throat thing, where it's like, boy, if they went any further with it. That's a good
yeah,
game.
I agree.
That's a good
That's
game.
a better way.
Anything done that to you, Dennis?
Not really. End of Walking Dead Season 1, I think, did a good number on me. It was a good moment overall. Kingdom Hearts games, when they have a really good ending like that, it's like, oh man.
Yeah, that was good. The first
yeah. I said,
man, I haven't thought about that in a while.
I know.
That was a good ending.
Yeah.
Don't tell me how it ends because I still haven't played that, but I've got the HD mix.
You need to play man.
The 1.5 HD remix or whatever.
358 over 2 days. That's a rough ride. That is a jeez. It was the DS one they did. But story in it is just.
I think didn't they incorporate that in one of these remix packages?
In 1.5 it has the cutscenes from it, so you get the overall story, but couldn't duplicate the gameplay because, again, it was on a DS, so it was like, here's the cutscenes from it, and like 2.5 is going to have that with Recoded, I believe, is going to have just the cutscenes from that. Oh man, every Kingdom Hearts game does it.
I got to get into those.
It's very good storytelling. It's
2.5 remix I think comes out.
2.5
in December?
remix comes out in December, which will be 2 and Birth by Sleep, which was the PSP game, and then the cutscenes from Recoded, which was it was originally a mobile game in Japan, and then they did a re-release on the DS.
Gotcha. Well,
so basically, the only one that won't be remade as right now is the one that just came out on the 3DS last year.
Which one was that one?
Dream Drop Distance.
Good Lord, there's too many names. Too many of those. There's too many.
Yeah, well, I mean it.
I know.
Well, I mean, when it started, it was like, oh, this is great. Nobody knew how it would go, and then the first game we get after that was a Game Boy Advance game that was based on cards, and everybody's like, oh, great! It's a franchise just there to make money because it's card game now. But then it was really good, and then it just kept going from there. Then they did 2, which went back to the main series, and they had other spin-offs from there. It's just been great game after great game every time. So I'm, 3 when that hits. It's going to be good. It's very good.
Well,
I have high expectations for that.
We will end on that note. Thanks, everybody, for joining us in the chat room, as well as everybody listening on the stream or even on the radio as well. Thanks, everybody who grabs us each week from iTunes or however you get our show for later use. We really appreciate it. Go to ingamechat.net. You can join us on Twitter, Facebook, our forums at colonyofgamers.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and if you're on Steam, we've got a Steam group you can join up with and play games with us and other listeners as well. Don't forget, after the show, we're going to be streaming Destiny coming up in about 30 minutes. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Have a great week. We will see you next Saturday. This is Tetris.